Hi, I'm Chris Standring and you're watching Inside Track TV. And we're coming to you live from Karaki Recording Studio in California. And my very first guest is an old friend of mine, Jeff Richman, who I've known for quite some time. He's a jazz fusion guitar player from Los Angeles, and he should be walking through this door just about any time now.
Alright.
You looking
Good to
good.
How you been? A long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You should.
You know, James, this is David.
Hi
This
there.
is Jeff, and this is Dean.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
And,
How are you?
Hi, Dean. I'm well.
Good.
yeah.
Nice to see you.
So both my amps, I mean, it's not set up.
No. Yeah, so you're going to use that guy.
Yeah.
And we can use, I mean, I've got a twin down there, I've got this polytone here.
All right.
This is super quiet and nice. But I mean,
Let's use it. If you want, if you think.
well, let's try it, Jeff. And if you like the sound of it, great. If not, we can just flick down to that guy.
All right. So where's my other amp?
It's in the car.
It's in the car.
Yeah.
Why don't you put it in my trunk? Because then we'll be. Why are you filming?
My job.
Okay. We should be working. Let's start.
Cool. You got headphones behind you, Jeff, and I'm going to. You got to tell me what you want.
Maybe just a little bit more of me.
Less reverb.
Yeah.
Oh, are you giving
I'm
me
using
reverb?
my reverb.
You want to use that? do you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's parking right.
He's right in front.
Am I at the right place?
You are. Come in.
Is this
Come in.
we're having a photo shoot? Nice. Straight ahead?
Yeah.
It is.
It's been a long time.
How are you?
Good.
Excellent. Yeah, likewise. Turning out to the car to grab a little something.
All
Really
right.
cool looking place.
This is beautiful.
Well, I turned the gain up just a little bit,
Okay, that's fine.
but I don't know the other things.
It's too trebly.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, where's your treble? Didn't you just turn the treble down? up?
No, I turned it down.
No, you did. Didn't see you do it.
But yeah, it was like this.
Oh.
You wouldn't happen to have like water.
So we gotta say heroin.
No, I brought my own.
Did you? Good. I think it was Dick Grove, wasn't it? Is that when we first met?
I was teaching at Dick Grove, and I think the first time I met you, I was playing next door to Dick Grove at a Thai restaurant
You remember that?
with Dean
Right.
on bass, and I think it was Dave Carasoni on drums. And you came up to me and you introduced yourself, and then we became friends.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. That was
And I changed your life.
That's right, you did. 23 years ago.
Yeah, it was that 23 years ago?
It was 23 years
It's
ago.
weird. So I was about 7.
I started with Ravi Coltrane, basically. That's what took me out of Berkeley,
Right.
you know, and then was doing a lot of different jazz type gigs like that. Christian McBride, Richard Bona, you know, everything coming out of New York. I was basically involved with a lot of different things there. And then I got Manhattan Transfer, more of a red carpet touring gig, more money, you know, less playing, but more functional, supportive playing, you know, and that kind of put me a little more in the mainstream, you know, endorsements, whatnot, getting more notoriety, and then I moved to LA.
Tell us a little bit about the songs that you're going to play today.
One of them is a song I wrote that's called My Old Room. It's got a nice melody. I've had a couple of people write lyrics to it. A mutual friend of ours named Mitchell Foreman recorded it on his album. It's on one of my albums. And it's really fun to play because at the end it builds up into a nice climactic guitar solo.
One pop.
I heard that, Bob.
But I thought that was a good take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to compress it a little bit. You know, compress it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've just EQ'd it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe this.
I grew up in Honolulu, Hawaii. And then when I was about 19 years old, right after high school, I went to Berkeley School of Music for a couple of years. Then I moved to LA in 1985. And that's when I met Jeff Richman at the Dick Grove School of Music.
How long were you in New York for?
About, well, at first I went to Boston and I went to college in
Right,
Boston,
Berkeley.
to Berkeley College of Music. And then right the day I graduated Berkeley, which is, by the way, not that many people graduate from Berkeley.
No kidding.
Yeah, because people go for a couple of years and they split. But I graduated from Berkeley, and then the day that I graduated, the next day I moved to New York City. And I lived in New York for about 3 years. So in Boston I lived about 3 years, and in New York I lived about 3 years in Manhattan.
So only 3 years in New York.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that you were there for quite some time. What was the scene like in New York back then?
Now it's like almost Disneyland compared to how it was back then.
No kidding.
Then it was a lot of homeless people, and you know, it was there were a lot of rougher neighborhoods than there are now. But my mission in New York was, it was almost like continuing education. You know, I went to Berkeley College of Music, so in New York it was like kind of my master's-ish degree, because my mission was to play with people, and I had a list. And I just had a list of all these people that I knew or didn't know, but I had their numbers. And I would just in the morning just call people up and say, hey, do you want to play? Hey, do you want to play? Do you want to play?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a yes from almost everybody eventually. And I just kind of weaved myself into the scene over there.
You studied with two great guitar players for a minute, didn't you? Pat Metheny and Mick Goodrick. What were those experiences like?
Yeah, incredible. I mean, honestly, I studied at one point. I was studying with three guys, Pat Metheny, Mick Goodrick, and William Levitt, who was the head of the guitar department. So it was crazy. Pat Metheny was just like a meteorite. He was like hot and flying through the sky a mile a minute. You know what I mean? And he could burn you too. You know, because he was kind of brutally honest. But it kind of.
I don't think that's changed, is it?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't hung out with him.
Right.
But he was pretty nice, and I learned the fact that he was sort of hot and brutal sometimes was kind of beneficial for me because I was pretty balanced. You know, I understood what was going on. I understood that I was not so good and he was really good. I was just lucky to be around him. And lucky that I got a chance to take lessons from him. I learned a whole lot from him, and I'm really grateful to that. And kind of conversely, Mick Goodrick was never. He would never rock the boat. You know, I would say something like, "I really sucked on that tune," and he'd say, "Yeah, but when you played chords, your time was good."
Right.
You know, he tried.
Right.
To
So he would
balance
find
it
the
out.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was sort of more philosophical and more guru-like. But I learned so much from both of them.
Tell us about the other song you're going to play today, Jeff.
It's a jazz standard called Blue Moon. And I don't know, I was practicing a few days ago and ran across Blue Moon. I started playing along with it and I thought, man, this might be a good song to cover, to do, because it's kind of got a major, I mean, non-musicians won't get this, but musicians will get it. It's got sort of a major E major 7 quality to it, but you can make it bluesy at the same time and kind of make it E dominant. You can switch back and forth. So it had sort of a looseness that I liked.
Cool.
What guitar players had the biggest impact on you that really stuck and formed your own sound?
I guess the first guy I really listened to that blew my mind completely was Jeff Beck.
Yeah, me too. That's what we have in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a Yardbirds album, and there's a song. I can't remember the name of the song, but he takes a solo on a Telecaster, and it's this long note, and it just feeds back, and it's just like I would listen to that over and over and over again. And I just love Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
I love the Yardbirds, and became a big fan of the guitar, and I just wanted to know more. It's just like this big kind of hole or cave to jump into guitar world.
I think that was the time when it hit me as well. I mean, when I heard Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow, that was the thing that said to me, you know what, I have to do this. I've got to find out more about this. It was that album.
That album.
What would be the most common problem you find with intermediate guitar players?
Well, kind of what this little mini lesson was about. I've noticed a lot of guitar players come in that, I took a lot of lessons and I'm really good, and they're really good. And they play really good blues, they play really good rock, they play really good, really fast, you know what I mean? And they can't play through any chord changes.
Yeah.
And if I give them a thing like even a 1-6-2-5, like I did in the lesson, they don't know what to do. They don't think about the chords.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Learning how to play over chord changes.
And what about reading music? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's really important to learn how to read, because I've noticed it's a means to an end. There's a way to quickly get to where you're going. You're not. It's just paper and ink, but it's nothing. It's just paper and ink. But you got to get to the music. It's a quicker way to get to the music.
So what do you say? I mean, I agree with you, of course, but what do you say to people who say, well, Wes Montgomery couldn't read, look where he gone?
Well, Wes Montgomery couldn't read, Buddy Rich couldn't read, Dennis Chambers can't read. A lot of people can't read. But I know that those guys, well, Wes Montgomery, I mean, there's a few people. Yeah, you don't have to read. Go ahead, don't read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll take you longer to get where you want to go.
Right.
It could make just a difference whether you're a professional musician or not.
That's right. Let's talk about your latest album, The Big Wheel, right? Right there, Big Wheel.
Just Big Wheel.
And you've got some monster players on this record, haven't you? I know Steve Gadd's on it. You've got Jimmy Haslett, who produced it. Jeff Lorber.
George Whitty.
It's a great record. Tell me about it. How do you feel about it?
I really like it because it's kind of a non-fusion album. And I think that has to do with, I guess, my writing, but also the way Steve Gadd approached it. He doesn't overplay, he just plays what's necessary, and he's kind of just in the pocket. It feels good. It feels like a pop fusion, but not really a smooth jazz album, but more of just a popular kind of feeling. It feels like it's more listenable because it's got a simpler approach. But my music isn't always simple. There's a lot of complicated things in there. Odd time signatures, odd bars, odd phrasing. And I liked some of my solos. I took a couple of really good solos that I thought.
Yeah.
The tone was good. I was in the right moment at the right time. And Jimmy Haslett was a great producer, really supportive.
Yeah. What projects have you got coming up? What are you doing now?
I have a new album that I'm working on that Jimmy Haslett is producing, and I've got some really cool people on it. I got Scott Kinsey to play on some stuff, and about halfway through that, I'm just working on it. I'm going to go to Italy for a week to do a bunch of clinics and have a bunch of gigs, lined up, here in LA, and teaching and just keeping busy. Great. Everything's pretty good.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jeff. It's been fantastic, mate. I'm really happy we could do this.
Thanks for having me, man.
Welcome. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank my special guest, Jeff Richman, and also to impeccable musicians, Steve Haas and Dean Tarber. And I really look forward to the next one. Thanks to you guys.
Oh, what strap is this?
The one from the gig bag?
From the gig bag?
From your gig bag?